Hi everyone, it's Semroth and welcome to my new video, part 0 of What If Team HASS was in Dragon Ball. So, in the previous video, obviously is part 1, I jumped straight into the story, so I thought I better make a part 0 as the origin story of the characters which Team HASS have made. There are 4 characters in total, but only 3 of them I'm going to be doing the origin story in this part, because the 4th one isn't introduced until the Dragon Ball Z saga. So anyway, I hope you enjoy. Thank you. I'll be back in a bit. Our story begins in age 732. Where Semroth is born in West City as a bear hybrid like his parents. His father works as a scientist in Capsule Corp and his mother owns her own fresh produce shop in West City. Semroth grows up learning lots from his father about science as well as running business ventures with his mother. Unfortunately, 5 years later, Semroth's father loses his job in Capsule Corporation over creative differences, and he decides to move out into the countryside because his original retirement plan was to start his own farm. Semroth's family find a nice place to move to, and they decide to move over there, landing in a small cottage out in the mountain range called Mount Paozu. And they are greeted by one of their neighbours called Son Gohan, and he introduces his grandson, Son Goku. Semroth, glad that he has friends out in the mountain area, Semroth's family make their own farm over the years, and Semroth hangs out more with Gohan and Goku, learning a couple of martial arts moves from Gohan due to him finding out that he was a student of the legendary Master Roshi. Unfortunately, one night Semroth and his family hear banging and crashing out in the distance. Semroth, scared for Gohan and Goku, goes running off in the direction of their house. But he sees that the noise is coming from that direction, causing Semroth to run faster. Once he reaches where the noises are, he sees a giant monkey standing over Gohan, towering over Gohan, who is seriously injured and trying weakly to hold it off. Semroth runs towards Gohan to go and help him at the best of his ability, and he sees that the foot of the monkey is about to land on him, and Semroth, just in time, is able to quickly grab Gohan out of the way. Semroth, confused, asks Gohan where Goku is, and he replies that the monkey is Goku, surprising Semroth. Semroth, scared for Gohan's health, begins running back to his house with Gohan in tow, and the monkey spots him and begins running after him. Semroth, barely able to keep ahead of the monkey, continues running and running and running. Unfortunately, the monkey, obviously being an Ozaru form, charges up a beam from his mouth and fires it towards Semroth. Semroth, just able to dodge it, unfortunately is still caught in the blast of the explosion, causing Semroth and Gohan to go flying. Semroth, tightly gripping Gohan, smacks into a tree with his back hitting the tree, and Gohan barely being injured. As Semroth starts to get up, the light of the sun begins to rear its head. Semroth, standing very weakly, brings up his fists, but unfortunately a foot begins to come down, and just as it's about to crush Semroth, the sun comes out and the moon goes away, causing the monkey to turn back into Goku. Semroth, barely able to keep up his strength, grabs Gohan and grabs the now returned to normal Goku and takes him back to his house. Semroth, asking Gohan about what happened, and he needs to find out why Goku is like this. Gohan explains that when Goku looks at a full moon, that's what he turns into. And Semroth, wanting to protect Gohan and his family, decides to continue training under Gohan. And over the years, Semroth keeps his promise to train and continues to try harder and harder with Goku and Gohan, so that this would never happen again. Now that was Semroth's origin. Now, let's get on to the other origin now, with the mysterious Akiza. Back again in age 734, Akiza was born with a power level of 10 on an unknown planet. He lived with his family, Dula and Jice, and their parents. Just after Akiza was born, the planet was conquered by the Frieza Force, causing Jice and Dula to be taken as Frieza Force soldiers. Akiza, with his relatively low power level, meant nothing for the Force, so he was not taken. Nearly 5 years after the planet was conquered, Jice and Dula came back after a mission, as they usually do, but they began shouting at each other, and something happened which would shock Akiza to his core. Akiza witnessed his brother Jice shoot his sister with a beam out of anger, causing the boy to be scarred, and surprising Jice, who was just in as much shock as Akiza. Akiza ran away, taking one of the Frieza Force pods and randomly mashing buttons until it launched. Over many months, Akiza survived off the food that was in the pod, and he eventually landed on a planet called Earth. Landing in a random area, he was found by an elderly woman who took him in, and when she asked his name, Akiza said he couldn't remember, so the woman adopted him and gave him the name Akiza after her deceased son. Over the years, Akiza, with his strong strength due to his higher than average power level and alien physiology, was able to help the people in the village greatly. He was called weird due to his red skin, but it didn't affect him because Akiza always knew he was different. But he went to school like anyone else and was taught many things. Once Akiza reached the age of 13, his mother, who is the elderly woman from earlier, told him that she knows a mysterious turtle hermit by the name of Master Roshi, and she knows that he is seeking students for his school, and that she believes Akiza would be a perfect fit. Akiza happily takes this offer, and she gives directions to him for Master Roshi. Eventually, he found Master Roshi's island, and he swims over there and asks Master Roshi to train him in the ways of the Turtle School, and he gives the old man a dirty magazine to sweeten the deal. And so Roshi takes on Akiza as his student, and the rest is history. And finally, the last origin to cover is Aaron's, and that begins now. Aaron is born in age 733 at an unknown city on Earth, with parents who don't care much for him, and Aaron is bored with his life. Eventually he goes to school and meets a boy named Yamcha, who is constantly trying to skip school and dreams of becoming a desert bandit. Aaron, who is bored with his life anyway, decides that Yamcha and him should run away and become desert bandits. So they do just that. They eventually find a nice place in the Diablo Desert that would make a nice hideout, and they hang out there. They begin training to be able to steal from people. Initially, Aaron tries to copy Yamcha's wolf technique, but he realises that he can't do that due to his upper body strength. But instead, he makes his own technique called the cheetah style, which uses his lower body strength. Both of the bandits prove successful, and they are able to steal from a couple of people, but one day they see a young cat being attacked by a T-Rex. With Yamcha and Aaron seeing the cat is in danger, they go to attack the T-Rex, and after a tough fight, they are able to rescue the cat being, who they find out is called Poir. And Poir decides to stay with Yamcha and Aaron, making the Desert Bandit crew bigger and more successful. And that's all the origins for Team HASS so far. As I said, the fourth origin will be explained once that character appears. And yeah, if you want to know what happens to these characters, don't forget to check out part 1 if you haven't already. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in part 2. This is Semroth signing out. Bye.